of in the electrolysis, what we are doing, we are carrying out electrolysis of electrolyte. What is electrolyte? The substance which shows the conductivity. The substance which shows conductivity due to flow of ions are called as electrolyte. Okay. So by the electrolysis, we are separating the electrolyte. We are separating the electrolyte into its constituent atoms or molecule. Into its constituent atoms or molecules. Such process is called as electrolysis. Before this, what we will have? Electrolyte. And after this, what we will have? Whatever the constituent atoms or molecules are there, they will be available. Okay. So that process is called as what? Electrolysis. Understood? Now, this electrolysis is governed by some laws. They are called as laws of electrolysis. Okay. And those laws are given by Faraday. Hence, those laws are also called as Faraday's laws of electrolysis. They are called as Faraday's laws of electrolysis. Okay. So how much product? Quantitative relationship. What it is giving basically? Quantitative relationship it will give. Okay. What it will give? It will give quantitative relationship between the product and reactant. Okay. So when you are giving some charge, how much you can expect as a product? That quantity of the product estimated by use of the calculated amount of electricity is given by Faraday. Okay. So Faraday's laws. Faraday's laws. Okay. So before studying Faraday's laws, we should know the units of charge. Okay. Units of charge. Okay. So there are units, there are two types of units of charge. One is called Coulomb. Okay. One is called as Coulomb. Okay. Second one is bigger unit is Faraday. Bigger unit is what? Faraday. Okay. So smaller unit is CGS unit is Coulomb and bigger unit is Faraday. So when you deal with the large quantity, that time we will take it as a Faraday only. And in this chapter also, we are going to take Faraday as a most of the unit. Okay. So Faraday is B, even though it is a unit, there is a definition to it. Okay. It is the charge carried by. What it is? It is the charge carried. It is charge carried by 1 mole electron. Okay. Charge carried by 1 mole electron. Whatever the charge available with 1 mole of electron, that is commonly called as 1 Faraday. Okay. So 1 Faraday is equal to 1 mole electron charge. 1 mole electron charge. Okay. So 1 mole electron means 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23. This is quantity. Okay. And on each electron charge available is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. Okay. So when you multiply, you will get a value of Faraday value as 96485. Okay. How much you will get actually? 483 and 485. It will be somewhere between the 96483. But to make it easy to remember, it is round figured and taken as 96500. Okay. And it is taken as what? 96500. Okay. So from now onwards, 1 Faraday. What you will remember? It is 96500. Okay, what is this? Coulombs, because this is units are in coulombs. Okay, so charge carried by electron is a small quantity. That's why we can write it as coulombs. But 1 mole of electron, that means it is a large. That's why we will write it in the Faraday. When you deal with 1 electron, we will prefer Coulomb. When you deal with the complete 1 mole, then we will explain with the Faraday. Why Faraday, why Coulomb, why it is separate available. Is it understood now? I think it is now clearly visible. Okay. So Faraday's laws, before studying the Faraday's law, on his name there is a unit also given. What is that unit? Faraday. Okay. Faraday is basically charge carried by how many electron? 1 mole electron. How you got this value 96500? I think now it is understood. It is an approximate value. Accurate value is 96483. Is it understood? So whenever in the numericals If 1 mole electrons are there I am going to write as a charge as a 96500. There I am going to write charge as 96500. 2 mole electron means 2 Faraday, 5 mole electron means 5 Faraday, half mole electron means a half Faraday. Okay. So it is, we are going to use it in the numerical. So you should have an idea of the Faraday. Okay. Now Faraday's first law. Faraday as a whole given how many laws? 2 laws he has given. Okay. So first we are going to study about the first law. Okay, Faraday's first law. Understood? So Faraday's first law is for only one electrolytic tub. Okay. So let us take a container. Let us take a container. It is consisting of one electrolyte, that is NaCl. Okay. And NaCl also specifically it is one molten form. Okay. It is consisting what? Molten form, Na and Cl. Okay. So here Na is positive and Cl is minus. Cl is what? Negative. Na is positive. This bigger line represents positive, smaller line represent negative. So in the electrolysis and electrolyte, here it is electrolysis. In the electrochemical cell, there is a almost opposite. There we produce the electricity. Now here we are using the electricity. There we converted chemical energy to electrical energy. Here we are using the electrical energy to consumed by the chemicals. Okay, that means it is conversion of electrical energy into chemical energy. Okay. Now, so here it is, their anode was positive. Okay, but here anode will be positive only, but reaction will be different. Okay, anode will be approached by anion. Okay, cathode will be approached by cation. Okay, so here negative electrode, there negative electrode was anode. Okay, so there I told you technique to remember Lone principle. What principle? Lone. L stands for left, O stands for oxidation, A stands for anode, and N stands for negative. But it is applicable where? If it is a electrochemical cell. Which cell? Electrochemical cell. For chemical, we have to take lone, electrochemical cell. If it is not a chemical, then we should not take lone. Okay. So their anode was negative, but here anode is positive. Why anode is taken positive? Because it is been approached by, it is been approached by anion. Anion is what? Negative ion. Here positive ion is approaching here. Okay. So that's why it is called as cathode. Okay. So here this Na positive is what? Cation. Okay. And chlorine negative is what? Anion. So anion approaches anode, cation approaches cathode. Okay. So at this stage you may be feeling very easy, but in exam these small mistakes only will be problem. Okay. So cation is sodium. Understood? Cation approaches to cathode, which is electrically negative, and anode approaches to the anion approaches to the anode, which is electrically positive. Is it understood? This is the diagrammatic representation of electrolytic cell. Here we got how many tubs? Only one tub. In electrolyte chemical cell, how many tubs we will have? Two tubs. One will be oxidation half cell, another will be reduction half cell. Okay. So here it is cation and anion. Both are differently separated. Both are separated from each other. Is it understood? So this is anode and this is cathode. This is positive polarity of the battery. This is negative polarity of the battery. Okay. Now, how many chlorine approaches to this and how many sodium approaches to this will be directly proportional to the charge available here. Suppose if I give 2 moles of electron, then 2 sodium will approach here. If I give 3 moles of electron, then 3 sodium will approach here. Same way, if I give 1 unit of positive charge, only 1 chlorine ion will approach. 3 unit, then 3 chlorine will approach. That means mass of the substance. Okay, mass of the substance collected, like sodium will be collected. Okay, and chlorine will be liberated. Chlorine will be what? Liberated. Okay, mass of the substance collected or liberated directly proportional to charge given at that particular electrode. Okay, charge given at that particular electrode. Okay, is it understood? So charge, that means 2 mole electron, 5 mole electron. A mole electron means Faraday. I think you understood now. Okay, so this diagrammatic form, I think there is no doubt in this parts and their description. Okay, now we will study about the quantitative relationship and definition. Okay, so Faraday's first law says that mass of the substance. Okay, mass of substance, mass of substance denoted with what? W. Okay, directly proportional to mass of substance W collected. Okay, if it is a solid, then we will use a term called as collected oblique liberated. If the substance is gaseous form, then it is termed as liberated. Okay, at any electrode, at any electrode, there is no specific that only cation, only anion, like anode or cathode. Okay, at any electrode. Okay, at any electrode is directly proportional to, is directly proportional. Okay, directly proportional. Okay, directly proportional to charge given to it, directly proportional to charge given to it. Okay, mathematically W directly proportional to Q. Okay, W directly proportional to Q. Now it is further explained because Q is not generally explained in terms of the coulombs only. Okay, so normally whenever we get some directly proportional, what we will do, we will do multiply with some constant. Okay, so here that constant is Z into Q. Okay, so here what is Z? Z is electrochemical equivalent. What is the full form? Electrochemical chemical and equivalent. Okay, electrochemical equivalent. Understood? So this is the electrochemical equivalent, ECE. So electrochemical equivalent is the mass of substance. Okay, they both will become same or not, but when one unit of charge given to it. Okay, and there is another way of representing also. Okay, so but Q is also equal to I into T. What we can write? Q is equal to I into T. Now this is one formula. Okay, so where Q is charge in coulombs. Okay, and here W is equal to Q into I into T. There is another formula derived, that is W is equal to, sorry, Z into I into T. Z into I into T. What is Z? Electrochemical equivalent. What is I? I is current in ampere. Okay. T is time in second. Understood? So this definition part, I think, is the statement of the Faraday's first law understood now. Okay. So I am erasing this and I will give you the description of each and every term. Okay. Here, how many formulas we derived? Two formulas. When to what? When to use? Okay. Here, Q is equal to charge. And what should be the charge? In coulombs. Q is the charge in coulombs and I is current. Okay. And units are most important. But here, current should be in amperes. Current should be in what? Amperes. Okay. And T is time. T is time, that should be in seconds. That should be in seconds. Okay. And Z already written. Z is mass of the substance. Okay. Definition part I am writing. Mass of substance. Mass of substance when either Q should be equal to 1. Okay. When 1 unit of charge given to it. What is 1? 1 unit of charge given to it, or I should be 1 ampere. Okay, and T should be what? 1 second. Is it understood? So T should be what? 1 second. Is it understood now? So it is the Q should be 1 in this formula. Okay, in this formula Q should be 1. and in this formula I should be 1 and T should be 1. That is, T should be 1 second and I should be 1 ampere. Okay. So now this is called as mass of the substance collected or liberated when 1 unit of charge or 1 ampere current flown for 1 second. Whatever the mass collected, that mass is called as Z, electrochemical equivalent. Mathematical formula and its description, I think it is clear now. Okay. So but we require some special focus on the Z value also. Okay. So that Z value and its formula I am going to write and explain. Okay. Okay, so Z is equal to, there is another formula, that is definition part. Okay, so what we will write, atomic mass. If we want to find out Z of atom, then atomic mass. Otherwise, if complete molecule, then molecular mass. Okay, divided by charge. Okay, you can take positive charge or negative charge into 96500. Okay, this is the Z formula. Okay, 1 coulomb. So 1 Faraday if you are giving, let us take copper. Okay, so copper 2 positive plus 2 electron gives copper. Now for this, what is Z here? Copper is atom, so it will be 63.5. Okay, what is the charge here? 2 into 96500. Here this is the Z for copper ion. Is it understood? Similarly, I think you can find out value of Z for everything. Okay, and not only, it is not only applicable for cation, it is applicable for anion also. Let us take oxygen. Okay, oxygen accepts. Here it is. Sorry, copper plus 2 electron. Okay, now oxygen plus 2 electrons, okay, will form oxide ion. Understood? So for oxide ion, here what is the Z value for oxide? Okay, so Z atomic mass, if you are writing, you will get the equivalent electrochemical equivalent of oxygen atom. If you want equivalent weight, electrochemical equivalent of oxygen gas, then this will change. Okay, so 16 divided by 2 electron into 96500. Okay, so it is applicable for both cation and anion. Okay, number of electron is just a transference. It can be loose, it can be even gain also. Okay, so Faraday's first law definition, mathematical formula, and its description. I think everything clear. According to Faraday's first law, mass of the substance collected or liberated is directly proportional to charge given to it. Okay. Second, two formulas, W is equal to Z into Q. Second formula is W is equal to Z into IT. Z into IT. Okay. Then Z is equal to electrochemical equivalent. How many definition? It is the mass of the substance collected or liberated when 1 unit of charge given to it or 1 ampere current flown for 1 second. Okay. And Z formula is atomic mass or molecular mass divided by charge into 96500. Okay. Now coming to the second law. Coming to second law. Okay. So we will increase the origin. Now we studied only for one electrolytic tub. Now we are going to study for more than one electrolytic tub. Okay. So even though we are giving same amount of electricity, we cannot expect same from everybody. Understood? Like in a classroom, everybody will be taught by the same teacher, but are they getting same marks? No, that depends upon the capacity of student also. Okay, understanding power, memory power, analyzing power of the student also plays vital role in their marks. Even though they are taught by the same teacher in the same classroom in same set of condition, like this, suppose these are the three different electrolytic tubs. Okay, so all are provided with the same quantity of electricity, 12 electrons. How many electrons? 12 electrons are provided to everybody. Okay, but here ions are different. Okay, like same teacher teaching to three students in a classroom. Okay, but there absorbing power, analyzing power is different, therefore their marks are also different. Likewise, here also I am taking like potassium, okay, and here I am taking calcium, and here I am taking aluminium, okay. So here potassium is K plus, calcium is +2, aluminium is +3, okay. So once I give 12 electrons to potassium, 12 electrons to potassium, here 12 potassium atoms will be collected, okay, and here each calcium require 2 electrons. So when I give 12 electrons, how many calcium? 6 calcium will be collected, okay, and here each aluminium require 3 electrons. So how many it will be collected? Okay, good. So here they will be collected with 4 aluminium, 4 3 is 12. Okay. So we are given with the same amount of electricity, but are we collecting same amount of mass? No. Here 12 into 39 grams. How much we are collecting here? 12 into 39. And here 6 into 40 grams. Okay. Here 4 into 27 grams only. Understood? So even though when same quantity of electricity passed through different electrolyte, when same quantity of electricity passed through different electrolyte, then masses of the substance collected are liberated. Masses of the substance collected are liberated will be directly proportional to or will be in the ratio of their electrochemical equivalent. What chemical equivalent? Electrochemical equivalent. Okay. So here let us take W of potassium ratio. W of calcium will be W of Al. Masses of substance collected or liberated at an electrode will be Z of potassium, Z of calcium, and Z of aluminium. Okay, will be in the ratio of the electrochemical equivalent. Is it understood? So this is the second law of Faraday. Okay, so this is more generalized condition. It is a comparative thing. First law was only about one electrolyte, but now it is of more number of electrolytes. Okay, it is about what? More number of electrolytes, but common condition is that here we are providing them with the same amount of electricity. Okay, so even though we are providing same, we cannot expect the same. Understood? So this is Faraday's second law. Mathematical form also very easy, even though it more generalized. But if your basics are strong in the Faraday's first law, it will be easy for you to understand second law. Okay. Now this is about the theory part. Okay. This is about what? Theory part.